The Bulls got absolutely destroyed in the market today. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions, and let's go ahead and talk about what happened with the overall NASDAQ market today. Let me start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. This is the aftermath of the FOMC meeting, but this is SQQQ, so you might be thinking, oh, it's good, right? It's green. Well, no, not technically, because QQQ, which is the NASDAQ market, actually sold off. It sold off 1.44%, which was pretty dramatic. And this actually happened as the Fed meeting actually closed, right? Jerome Powell stopped speaking, and we saw lower lows and lower highs really begin to flush out the market, right? Bulls got absolutely swiped today. You either went with the market's direction or you got absolutely destroyed. Now, you are correct, right? The FOMC rate decision, they decided to pause, which is not technically a bad thing. But if you heard what Jerome Powell said, and we live streamed this on the YouTube channel, so feel free to check it out. It's my previous live stream. He made it very clear, which in my opinion, and it means nothing based off of how the market's reacting, but in my opinion, he didn't say anything new. We all knew that based off of specific economic data, that the Federal Reserve did run the risk of potentially raising rates more later this year, right? And they said 12 out of 7, or 12 versus 7, 12 members of the Federal Reserve voted that if economic data supports it, yes, they will raise one more time by at least the end of 2023. Then 7 voted against that, no more hikes are needed. Now, obviously, more voted for it. So again, is the Federal Reserve more hawkish? But this is just one rate hike. Yet the market is reacting the way that it is. Nonetheless, we did well, right? Made an additional couple $1,000, $8,849 on SQQQ. We all know that SQQQ goes up when the overall NASDAQ market goes down. How much worse can things get? When looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, I'm not here to instill fear in you, maybe just with the thumbnail and the title, but if you trade based off of thumbnails and titles, then you got bigger problems, right? Overall NASDAQ market, yes, we have tested previous lows. If you look at previous lows, we are testing that exact range right now, and that's right around 364. If we break below this based off of previous lows, the next one is going to be right around 360. The one below that is around 355. These are kind of the levels, almost every $5, right? Makes perfect sense. Do I think that the market has to continue to sell off? Well, no, right? We've said this, and we said this in the very beginning of today's live stream. Any reaction tends to be an overreaction. I've seen this with CPI data reports, and I've seen this with Fed meetings, right? With FOMC meetings. The market can react one way on the day of, but then reacts a completely different way on the day after. Not saying that that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that don't let one day define you as a trader. If you had a bad day, if you had a bad trade, if you had a red day, again, your job is not to avoid those days. Your job is to simply manage it. So suck it up and put a plan in place so you don't dig yourself into a deeper hole. Stay selective, stay disciplined, make sure that your risk management is A1. What is also another thing that we talked about is, well, obviously on days like this or CPI data reports, any day where there's major economic reports, maybe it's not the best day for people that are absolute beginners. That's not rocket science. It should be something that should be encouraged. Look out for yourself, right? Why are we ashamed to be like, hey, I'm just getting started. Maybe I shouldn't trade on such a volatile day, right? It's kind of like common sense. When you look at the overall market and the series of news outlets and what they're stating, stock futures edged lower as Fed skips a rate hike, but signals for another increases coming. None of that is new. None of that is wow, that was a surprise. If you see the live stream, once it was stated by Jerome Powell that yes, a future rate hike can be in place if economic data supports it, he has said that in almost like every single FOMC meeting. Like that is not new news, but the market likes to overreact. So let's just dance with it. If the market sells off again tomorrow during tomorrow's live trading session, I'm going to short it with the Learn Plan Profit team. If the market begins to recover and begins to indicate signs of an uptrend because it was an overreaction based off of what happened today, then guess what? I'll go long with the bulls. Stop overcomplicating or thinking that your opinion or my opinion or anyone else's opinion is fact. The only thing that we have to work with is market direction, right? So if today isn't like the nail in the coffin for it, no one cares about your opinion. No one should care about mine. It does not matter. It literally does not matter about the market. The market will always do what it wants. This is exactly why yesterday, this is kind of like tough criticism, but you need to hear it. This is why yesterday, when people were nagging to me, right? When I made a little bit over 15K, going short on the market. Ricky, why not just hold the position if you think that the market's going to sell off? Obviously, in a perfect world, if I can predict the future, yes, you're right. I would have loved to have made a total of 4.26% on the day on SQQQ. But guess what? I'm not perfect. I don't know what the market's going to do. And my job is not to try to predict the future, but it's to prepare, but also prepare for worst case scenario. So I choose to stay cash, right? That is the beautiful thing about trading, is not because something is certain, but because it's not, that is why you decide to manage your risk, right? Remove that ego in this market. This market will absolutely destroy you if you continue to have this ego problem of not being able to accept when you are wrong. Manage that position size, manage that risk, and learn the importance of when conditions are just not favorable or for you, that you don't need to trade every single day. And I hope that at least helps one person out there that's just getting started. I'm really excited to see you for tomorrow's live session. I hope that this video breaks down that what happened today, and that it literally does not matter what any news outlet is saying. The market will always do whatever it wants to do. So why try to predict or think that your opinion is going to be true when at the end of it, we're all just doing the same thing, and that's trying to dance with the market. And tomorrow, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Stay cash, and I would love to dance with the market if direction and conditions are favorable. That's it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Second link in the description down below. That's for my live trading session. I trade live with one team and one team only. That's the LPB team, and I hope to see you there. Hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.